Tucker leaving Fox, and even previous to Tucker leaving Fox, who had more influence in America, Tucker amongst conservatives or Ben?
Before leaving Fox, I would say it was pretty close to call. Pretty close to call. Not in our world, not in the online world. I get it. In the online world, it's all about the online people. But Tucker had a huge amount of influence when he was on Fox. It's a little hard to say how much his influence is now. That's not a shot at Tucker, by the way. I see it on X. He has gajillion views on everything. We don't know exactly how they're quantifying views if you just skip past it and all that. I know you take the counter on this. I'm not even saying that.
I'm not taking a counter. I like both guys. I'm not a
No. In terms of influence post Fox, right? You would say his influence is way greater post Fox, right?
Yeah, no. There's two different things. There's the let's isolate concerns. The isolate concerns of, Ben. The CEO hat, the Israel hat, the conservative hat. He put Israel 1, conservative 2, Daily Wire 3. That's just when he did that in that event, when he called that Candace. He went Israel, conservative, Jewish audience. Then he went CEO, Candace, part of this network.
He's not the CEO, and he hasn't been the CEO
co-founder,
for at least
but even when people think about Daily Wire, they don't think about Jeremy Boring. They think about Ben Shapiro.
Right.
We know Jeremy's the operator. We had him on. We had a very good conversation with him. But you think Ben. You don't think,
the optics of it,
I guarantee you, if we did a poll right now and you ask who is the CEO, they would say Ben Shapiro when I ask you the question. Okay? Right. So you have a big responsibility because a big part of Daily Wire's success is Ben. Ben is a behemoth of an influence. But in regards purely to Tucker versus Ben, to me, you think Tucker doesn't have the kind of influence since he left Fox as Ben does?
No. That's not exactly what I said. I think it's hard to quantify
I don't think
Tucker's
it is.
influence is.
Can you put up Chartable? Pull up Chartable. I don't think it is because, and by the way, when you go to Twitter, I agree with you because some of the stuff on Twitter, you're like, 400 million views. Well, it's not really fun. Then on YouTube, it does 50 million.
There are 350 million Americans. They're telling us things.
Can you go up and type in Tucker? Just type in Tucker in that if you can. And does Tucker's show come on? It should come on. You know what? Just type in Joe Rogan. Type in Joe Rogan. And right there, Joe Rogan Experience. And if you can go to Apple, go to Spotify Podcast, Top America Podcasts. Just click on the first one. There you go. Number 1 is Rogan. 2 is, I don't even know.
It's a murder. Yeah, Ghost.
Right.
Crime.
Tucker's 3. Now go to Apple. And by the way, and then keep going down. Huberman, Balin, you got Mel, you got Call Her Daddy, you got all these guys that you're going, right?
Yeah. This is Spotify? Is that what we're looking at? Right?
I'll go to Apple as well. Lex, you got all these guys, right? You don't see.
I know that guy.
But no, what I'm saying is you don't see, there's Candace, there's Jordan. Okay, so now go back on Chartable. And go to Apple, okay? And on any given day, Joe's always number 1 on like a golf score. But obviously, Apple has different kind of algorithms. Keep going lower, keep going lower, keep going lower. You got Huberman. Ben is there, 18. Go a little lower, little lower, little lower. On the Apple side, keep going lower. Does Tucker even put his stuff on Apple?
There he is.
Yeah, there it is.
Click on that. Click on that. Click on that real quick. Okay, so now we see the ranking there. Zoom in a little bit. So on Apple, he's 65. On Spotify, he's 3. Okay, so to the Spotify talent, he's way ahead. To the Apple podcast, Ben is way ahead. To the Twitter views, I would say Tucker's way, way ahead on the Twitter views, which Twitter is now getting God knows how many people that are logging on a daily basis. And I would say even on YouTube, if you go compare data. So I'm asking this because I wonder if a part of Candace's dealing with Tucker. So are you insinuating? Are you speculating that maybe Candace is trying to leave to want to go join Tucker?
I think it's definitely
okay. So that's
possible.
what you're thinking,
or to start her own network.
Okay,
but I think
what
you just illustrated there, in that Tucker was way down below Ben on one of them and
Apple
above on the other.
Yeah.
And also the Daily Wire has a massive subscription game. I don't think Tucker has a subscription.
No, he
game.
does not.
So think about it. The Daily Wire is I don't know what their rev is. Maybe I don't even know if it's public, but they're generating a huge amount on that side.
They're real business.
Yeah,
they're a unicorn. I'm not undermining the business value. I'm talking pure influence, pound for pound, Tucker versus Ben.
Right. So all I'm saying is it's a little hard to quantify. I think we're basically saying they're roughly in the same world, right? Like, you're not giving me anything empirical here that's showing me that Tucker's blown out. They're basically in the same world. But if you're Tucker, and let's say you're 65 that you just showed us on Apple, and Ben was, 18? Well, in the world that they live in, a lot of those people were doing culture podcasts and fashion podcasts. The guy you want to go after is number 18. It's not the girl doing.
I'm trying to really in my mind wrap that around, to see if that's
if
what
you took out the Daily Wire, those subscribers got to go somewhere.
I don't think Tucker's playing that game. You see, for me, I asked three questions.
I don't know.
I asked 3 questions, and I've been asking it for a while. Does Tucker want to be Roger Ailes or Rupert Murdoch? I don't think so. Does Tucker want to be, Rush Limbaugh and, just stay in this, and he wants to have the biggest influence politically on the conservative side? Maybe. Does Tucker want to be Churchill, to go from a journalist to eventually become a president? Maybe. I don't think Tucker's goal is to be a billionaire. I quite frankly don't think he gives a shit about being a billionaire. I think he loves his life. On the other side with Ben, I think Ben is also a crusade guy, and his loyalty is going to be to his community. As a Jew himself, he's going to be supportive of that. But I think since October 6th or 7th, October 7th event that took place, he has proven, hey, zero compromise here. This is where I stand. And in some, areas, it's hurt him, numbers-wise. In some, it's hurt him. Whereas I think Tucker is willing to criticize his own side and the other side. And that's where Tucker's been able to stay a little bit more fluid and gain a little bit from all sides versus Ben isolated himself a little bit. Now, I may be wrong.
Well, what would you like to hear from Ben that you haven't heard when it comes to this?
No, there's nothing about here. I'm Armenian and I'm Assyrian. Guess what? I'm going to be pro-Armenia, pro-Assyrian.
Yeah. But
I'm also going to give by the way, there's a video. Somebody made a video on Instagram or Twitter, and a Syrian guy told, well, Patrick, I don't like what he said about Assyrians. That's my brand. My brand isn't that I'm just going to sit there and not be critical of even my own mistakes, things I've done in the past, things our community's done. I'm going to be openly talking about it. Our brand isn't to be 100% blinded to whatever. I think when you do that,